Hey, Brandon, you got a cold open?
No, you can do it.
Okay. Well, I know that you're upset this morning because the
Yep.
Kansas City Chiefs are going back to the Super Bowl again. Um, you wearing a Lions shirt, curse the Lions, as was stated multiple times again. And I did find a fan base that is a little bit more upset than you today,
What fan base is that?
and that is the Las Vegas Raiders. Because sure, they're your division rival, right?
Yeah.
But the Chiefs are going back to potentially win another Super Bowl in their house. It's bad.
I mean, they're kind of renting it.
Was it like a leasing kind of thing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do
It's
you
hard
think
for them to even call it their own
Do you
house,
think, do
isn't
they
it?
think they finance it? Like, what is?
I don't know how. Yeah.
Oh, baby, we here. You in the right direction. Welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna, and this is a GPS, and the S stands for poop.
Sadistic results.
That's a good one. I like that one. Yeah.
Hey, Tom, watch this. Watch this.
Okay. Are you the Ravens offense? No, because you're there. Are you?
I'm the Ravens defense in the first half, and I'm the
Oh.
Detroit Lions in the second half, doing
Okay.
absolutely nothing.
Okay, that's fair.
That's
fair.
my impression of two teams that ripped my heart out.
Ooh, I like the little camera shake that went along with it. It really added to the effect. Yeah. We
So annoyed. So annoyed with football today.
I mean, Brandon, I think like maybe this is God telling you you need to not you need to switch sports, my friend. Like it is like that's
Hey,
good
God,
sports.
this is for you.
I'm just saying
That's me
that's
flipping off
good.
God.
It hasn't been good. It has not been good sports. Like they gave you the wonderful ending, right? Peyton Manning riding off into the sunset. That should have been it. You should have been done. Super Bowl 50. No mas. And that's it. And then you could have moved on to basketball, right? Denver's doing well. Colorado, the Avalanche, they're doing well. But the sports times for the Denver Broncos, it hasn't been good lately.
We're a great sports city, except for football.
Yeah.
It's
it's rough, bud.
I didn't think I would be that upset that the Lions lost. Like I knew it would hurt a little, but man, just gutted for the Lions.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna have 3 more years of Mahomes. That's my prediction right now. Don't ask me to add context, Chiefs fans. 3 more years. That's all you get. Here's the thing, Tom. People like to say, you know, one of the dumbest, like, I don't know, little quips people have is, my team lives rent free in your head. Rent free, rent free. Unoriginal bullshit. The Chiefs do not live rent free in my head. Okay, they don't. I pay the fucking Chiefs to live in my head. It is worse than that, Tom.
You're paying
I'm
rent.
just like, here, it's not free. I'm going to give you some money to live in this space. How much do you want? You want $1,000 this month? You want $2,000 this month? Have it all. You're staying up here for a long time. Travis Kelce does nothing all season, and then he's unstoppable in the playoffs again. Oh, the Ravens, I'm upset that the Lions lost, but I am just pissed off at the Ravens. I felt like they betrayed us. They betrayed NFL fans. just played their worst game of football ever, basically. Why couldn't you have played like that after the 2012 season with Joe Flacco, huh? Fucking cowards. Don't take it personally. What else do I have? This is my life. This is my job. Sorry, go Niners. Purdy to win a Super Bowl in the second season just to show. Well, if Purdy can save us,
boop, boop.
A1 base.
You know who else could
that
save
will
us?
be based.
Johnny John John!
Appreciate you, A1. Yeah, so Brandon, you have some strong feelings this morning. Where do you want to start? You want to start with the AFC Championship game? I mean, we streamed it.
Yeah, let's just go right to the dagger.
Okay, I want to talk about this because I feel like there is a lot on the internet today, which there always is a lot on the internet.
Today, the internet just didn't have much.
It's just a really slow day on the internet. I feel like the narrative after that game was talking about the refs again. And while there was 100% like some not great calls, there was also like some bad calls on the Chiefs too, talking about some of those holds. But like legitimately, the Ravens did not show up.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how you could watch that game and you come to the conclusion, oh, the reason why the Chiefs won was because of the refs. Because I think that is like the furthest from the truth. Because at this point, man, like, bro, like you said, the Ravens just didn't show up. Like their offense was just, they didn't run the ball, which they're the best at doing. And I get they're going after a good defense, but they were like Gus the Bus. How many carries did he have? 8? Not even?
If that.
So that Lamar Jackson barely running. Dude, they did a design run on 4th down and they got more yards with Lamar Jackson. And they're like, that doesn't work though. We're not going to do that. And then just turnovers and penalties, just shooting themselves in the foot over and over again. And like, you can't do that against the Chiefs. And for the Ravens, like I said this yesterday, they got everything they wanted. They got the 1 seed. They've been dominant since Christmas. Yeah. And the one day they didn't show up, the Chiefs did, and now they're going home. It's like you said, it's just disappointing because we saw all season how great the Ravens played. And even if the Ravens wound up losing that game, let's just say it was like a really close game, it was just a slugfest like a lot of us were anticipating. Sure. It would have been like, okay, you know, at least it was like a really good game. It wasn't even a good game.
No.
And that's, I think,
was a letdown. It was a letdown. And like, when you're mentioning the refs, I get the last Super Bowl, Chiefs Eagles. I get why people were upset with the officials from that game because it was officiated one way for the entire game, and then they call a huge penalty, you know, at the end of that game. I like the way the Ravens Chiefs game was officiated. Right, a lot of people wanted pass interference on the Chiefs on Lamar's throw to Isaiah Likely in the end zone, right? And you could like we've seen that call before. Yeah, his path to get back to the football is hindered by the Chiefs, but there was a bad throw by Lamar Jackson.
It was horrible.
I think most football fans do not want to see bad throws rewarded for the offense. Underthrows, right? And
that's what I was gonna say. The
underthrow,
like, we've talked about it all year.
Every one of those calls to be officiated. Shitty throw, the receiver shouldn't get the advantage trying to get back to it when the defense is there. Plus, it was triple coverage. If it was 1-on-1, the Ravens might have had a chance. Yeah, but there's 3 Chiefs there. 3 of them. 3 of them.
I think it's also like you said,
not Super Bowls the Chiefs are about to have.
The narrative this season, like one of the narratives, and it's funny because we saw like 2 plays in that AFC Championship game that have been criticized like all year. You saw the touchback rule, right? In which, of course, like the Chiefs did wind up recovering that, but that got talked about for a hot second again. Yeah. And then you have the pass interference on an underthrown ball. And I think while the touchback rule is controversial, you and I are on the exact same page there. It's like, no, like you need to punish the offense when you make mistakes, especially it's a very offensive-minded league. And so when they make mistakes like throwing in a triple coverage or underthrowing the ball just to like get a penalty, like that's flopping to me, right? Like that's just like flopping with extra steps. It goes like when you deliver a bad pass or you try to be aggressive, like trying to reach the ball over the goal line and it doesn't get there, That's the risk that you take. Just like Dan Campbell in the NFC Championship game, taking some risk. We'll talk about that in the kickers and all that great stuff. But yeah, I completely agree with you. You could absolutely make a case for pass interference, but that ball should never be thrown. Ever.
Or if he could have thrown it because Likely was in front of the Chiefs. You got to throw it to the back of the end zone where only Likely can make a play there. And he didn't.
Yeah.
And with the Zay Flowers, he's trying to make a play.
Yep.
That's more of Chiefs defense. Just heads up, gets her hand right on the football. If I'm the NFL head coach this offseason, I'm putting together just a montage of guys reaching across the goal line with one hand on the ball or the ball not double secured. And just showing every example of when that goes wrong. Every single time. Just so every player on offense knows the risk of sticking that ball out.
Yes.
As opposed to having it here and using your body to help. Like if you don't score there, you got 4 chances for your offense to come back and do it. And I know when it's happening that fast, that's not a decision you're thinking about in that process. Nobody is thinking like that while a play is happening like that. But if you prep that way, if you understand the situation, don't stick that shit out there. The football, you need to treat that football like a baby and make sure that you don't drop it at the most important part of the field. It's unfortunate. Zay Flowers we would have been talking about Zay Flowers as the most important player in that game for the Ravens. And that's what sucks because he was having a day. I think Travis Kelce and Zay Flowers were the only 2 ball catchers with over 100 yards this week in receiving. And he was this close to being the hero. And now he's the GOAT, but the bad version of the GOAT.
I think if you put Taylor Swift on the Ravens, she may have been able to get more rushing yards. So, I mean,
6 carries between Edwards and Likely. 6.
That's ridiculous.
6.
It's ridiculous. I mean, I don't think a lot of people wanted the 49ers to win.
I don't think it's bad the Niners won.
I just think
I'm fine with
it.
Like, I like the 49ers. I like Kyle Shanahan. I love George Kittle. I like Christian McCaffrey. Deebo Samuel's so fun to watch. Like, they're the Broncos of the West, okay? But it was the fact that they prevented the Detroit Lions from going to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
They robbed us of something we have literally never seen before. We have never seen that. And now we get a replay of a Super Bowl we didn't want a rematch of.
That's correct, yeah.
49ers Chiefs. Not a single person outside of maybe Niners fans were like, you know what? Really love to see us against the Chiefs again in the biggest game.
They get to get revenge. Yeah, like they get to get revenge, which is...
If Brock Purdy beats the Chiefs, it'd be nice. We'll all be rooting for Mr. Irrelevant, but fudge.
Yeah, I mean, there's I think at the end of the day, I think at the end of the day, it's just a Super Bowl, like you said. If it was the Lions Chiefs, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
But this one...
Oh, wow. Is that a pancreas?
It's a pancreas.
Right now, the Chiefs are they're like 1-point underdogs right now. Like, what the fuck? Shut up.
I don't even know why they're underdogs, to be honest.
Do not do that. You put them as like 14-point favorites at this point. I swear to God.
I don't even know how they are underdogs. I think it's just with the Chiefs, and again, I don't hate the Chiefs. I don't.
You should.
I think
you will.
Are a more entertaining version of the Patriots.
Not right now, they're not.
I understand.
17 points.
I know. Offense taking a step back this year.
Not right now, they're not. They were. This season, they're just like the Patriots.
I will say, like, dude, if they wind up winning another Super Bowl, which at this point, I can't pick against the Chiefs like ever again. Like, because I did it for 2 out of 3 games.
I guarantee they win that game.
The playoffs. Oh, here
guarantee
we go.
it. I guarantee the Chiefs
Brandon,
win that game.
That your curses don't work on the Chiefs.
I'm not cursing them.
We just gonna learn.
I've seen it. I just know. Like, what are you going to do to stop them? San Francisco. You play like shit for a half and then pray to God you win in the second half. Good luck.
Don't go up 10 though. Don't go up 10.
I've already been committed to the insane asylum. I know what happens. You'll be joining me here soon enough. Soon enough. You'll all be here with me.
But like for the Chiefs, like,
Patrick
and that's why
Mahomes will be our warden or whatever they have at those places. And he's going to be giving us our medicine every day to sedate us. He's not the worst warden. He's better than Tom, but Jesus Christ. Oh, it is hell. It's just hell. Going from hating Tom Brady to then having to live with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And I knew it was going to be bad, but now I'm in the middle of it and it sucks. It just sucks.
Yeah.
He wasn't even like, he was just efficient. He didn't have to do anything crazy. He doesn't do stupid shit. Lamar Jackson did stupid shit. Brock Purdy did a little bit stupid shit.
Dude.
But then played solid, just great in this. Like, why did Brock Purdy look more comfortable just taking off running than Lamar Jackson? That's what I don't understand.
And he gashed the Lions with those runs too. Yep.
Jared Goff was actually pretty solid. You know, it's like his playmakers let him down the way we were talking about the Chiefs playmakers letting Patrick Mahomes down this season. It was unfortunate. Goff played well and the Lions missed opportunities.
To just like finish off the Chiefs, first of all, I'm so happy this stupid ass conspiracy thing for the logo never has to be mentioned again, because I got collectively dumber when I was listening to that. And now it's like, well, no, that's not the conspiracy. The conspiracy is about Taylor Swift now. That's the real one.
Oh, yeah, baby.
I can't win. And it's just, looking at this Super Bowl, I called Johnny last night and I was like, you know what this Super Bowl is perfect for? This is the perfect Super Bowl that I'm going to attend for work. Like I'm going to go because I'm going to be watching this like, all right, Chiefs, are they going to win another one? Or the 49ers, who have been the bane of my existence in the playoffs, are they going to win another one? Cool. It's gonna be an amazing time because it's still going to be a Super Bowl. But I'm going to be like, cool, I can miss a play so I can record some content there.
I thought you were going to say this is a perfect Super Bowl to get blackout drunk.
That also does apply as well, that one. And then I hop on a red eye and I'm just...
To me, if I was going, it'd be like, I'm pre-gaming and then I'm gaming. And we'll see if I remember what happened.
Johnny did say, he would understand if I wanted to give you his ticket so you could go watch the Chiefs play in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he texted me that and I just ignored it because I was still too mad. Man, watching the Chiefs win a Super Bowl live, that's like the ultimate clickbait punishment, you know?
Yep.
I'm sure they're, but like I would have to pay for the ticket on top of that. And I'd have to pay multiple thousands of dollars to go watch my enemy win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah. Sam Darnold's Super Bowl ring.
Oh, yeah.
That's an interesting one. Now that's an interesting one.
The one thing that gives me optimism for the 49ers is they did what they haven't been able to do twice. And that's watch the opposing team build up a lead against them and they fought back in and won. And so the Niners have won 2 games where they arguably played really bad football for chunks of those games. And like being able to survive that in the playoffs, that's something. Like if they do that against the Chiefs, they're going to lose. But if they've gotten the bad football out of their system, they faced adversity in each game. So even if the Chiefs score first or whatever, like the Niners are battle tested. The Chiefs have just played well enough where they've had control of their games in the playoffs. So like that's maybe reaching a little bit, but the Niners, that's been the knock on them, right? Fourth quarter, Shanahan, if he's losing, can never win. Negated that last week. Came back from down 17 points.
No, so last week was 7, and then this one, it's 24-7, and legit that was the knock. And like they were just like, no, we're gonna prove that narrative wrong. And to move on to the Lions game, it's interesting and heartbreaking because as a Packers fan I feel like Lions and Packers fans had similar mentalities heading into this game.
Sure.
Where you're going to be the underdog, right? You're on the road. It's going to be difficult against the 49ers, but it's house money, right? We keep on saying house money is just like amazing season. I see a lot of Lions fans kind of holding on to that. But the way that you're eliminated when you're like, we're right there. And for the Lions, they were right there to go into the Super Bowl. It just is a gut punch, man.
Yeah.
And it's just, they're the worst third quarter team in football this year. And it just came out the worst time in the NFC Championship.
That, like, you wanted to basically just be trailing the whole game and kind of have a chance and then lose. And then you would have felt better as a Lions fan. I didn't upload my Lions video last night because I'm like, this, and you said it, the exact reason, like, I told, like, Will and Johnny, let's just hold off till Tuesday. It's like the way they lost this game.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to feel good about their season tonight. Maybe by Tuesday, when I'm going to upload it now, we'll be like, all right, yeah, that sucked. But their season was a win. They overachieved on multiple levels. So,
because they did what they set out to do. They won the division. They won a playoff game. They won a second playoff game, right? Which is crazy. And it's
just getting to the playoffs was them getting over the hump. Just getting to the playoffs. And then they won in the playoffs. And then they won again in the playoffs. And then they were kicking the 49ers' butts.
Yeah.
They had the game. And it's the Josh Reynolds drop on 4th down. It's the Josh Reynolds drop on 3rd down where he would have converted.
Yep.
It's the Jahmyr Gibbs fumble. It's the overthrown ball by Purdy that should have been intercepted, but turns into one of the most incredible catches you'll ever see by Brandon Aiyuk. It was Jared Goff and Jameson Williams not connecting on the flea flicker for the touchdown.
Yep.
Those were the 5 huge missed opportunities by Detroit. Like, to me, those, like, if you want to pick one of those plays that killed them, it was Gibbs fumbling.
And
like, it's like he's that's out of character for him. You know, he's been great. Yeah. Watch the Chiefs Super Bowl or play Pokemon.
Yeah, he's gonna play Pokemon all
dude.
day.
I will read all of the Pokemon history. I will spend a year immersed in Pokemon if I don't have to live through another 3 hours of the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl.
So a lot of course, and this is during the game.
I will renew my vows with Jess and have it officiated by somebody in a fucking Pikachu costume, and everybody in the audience comes and cosplays as their favorite Pokemon, then have to do that again. If I have to hear Travis Kelce say, "Fight for your right to party" one more time, my head might explode. He has ruined the Beastie Boys for me. I can't even listen to them anymore. And they basically introduced me to hip hop. As a white man, they needed to be my bridge into rap music. And he took that away from me. Fucking god dang it, Tom. Why can't he quote a band I hate? Why can't he be the Creed guy?
Whoa, you hate Creed?
No, I don't like them.
Wow.
Creed was the first band that made me realize, like, I don't have to like music that my friends like. I literally bought Creed because two of my best friends liked them. I bought that first Creed album, and like, I listened to it a few times. I was like, I don't fucking like this music, and I can't tell them. And it's not like I'm not like trying to be like it's fun to make fun of Creed or whatever. Like, I just generally is like, this is not for me. Not for me. Not for me.
This is it.
You got to be your own person. Creed helped me discover that. Creed helped me learn to be an individual.
You meet Creed and you're just like, thank you so much for making me an individual. They're like, oh, no problem. You're like, yeah, because I hated your music. Didn't like it. Oh my God. He took away your bridge. That's a great line.
He burnt it.
A lot of what was being talked about You know what? I'm actually okay with Perna not streaming the Rumble with me because like it wasn't their best effort. It
Yeah,
was an okay event.
we're gonna do it. Tom's gonna find the right one, and I will stream with him this offseason.
We're in rock, baby. We're in rock. I think what a lot of the dialogue was during the game and then after the game was about Dan Campbell, right? Because at opportunities to settle for field goals, to either increase their lead when they're already up, or to go and tie the game. And I think there's two schools of thought here. One, you have Dan Campbell who's defending it and just be like, listen, like I'll take the scrutiny. You got to go for it, be aggressive, et cetera, et cetera. But then there's also, they don't trust their kicker. I mean, you talk about, and that was a lot of Lions fans were in the chat yesterday of the stream. And there's like, because Badgley just misses like a bunch, like after 40. And I'm curious on your take there because I get the aggression because you could argue that the reason why the Lions are in this position is because of Dan Campbell being aggressive throughout the season, just the kind of play he talks about. But, and it was interesting too, because as you and I have talked about, and God's Butt Monkey talked about this too as a Chargers fan, we've talked about Dan Campbell and Brandon Staley and how they're portrayed by the media and how like one going for it is like, oh, just the nerdy analytics.
Yeah.
And then when Dan Campbell does it, it's just like, wow, so gutsy, so ballsy doing that. And you saw the costs of that yesterday, but are you putting this more on Campbell? Are you putting this on Badgley? Are you putting this on why the heck do you have that kicker in that position if you're not going to utilize them? Because I think at this point,
it's all of it. Yeah.
I think the more egregious one is the tie is bad to go for the tie. But when you're up 24-7, like I get you want to be aggressive and continuing. I mean, making it 27-24 at that point, you know, and just like getting the points, even if you miss, then you're in the same position, you know? Like I go back and forth on it. And then of course, I don't want to sit here now and be like, well, in hindsight, because if they convert there, it looks like a genius, but
yeah,
opportunity
I think
cost.
the one that like kind of kills you is him not going for the touchdown right before halftime. He settled for 3. And I liked it. I was like, take the points. That like in these games, points they're more valuable than in regular season games for a variety of situations that you could be in the fourth quarter. Yeah, points are a premium. All right. The one in the third quarter where they missed for the first time they go for it on 4th down. That one hurts because they miss, but it's everything that happened after that killed them. It was like they just collapsed after that moment. And it's, if you go into a championship game and you don't trust your kicker to make between a 40 and 50 yard field goal, to put it politely, you're fucked. Like you got to trust your kicker to do that. Otherwise you need another kicker on the roster. And I know they brought him in late, right?
They swapped out kickers, yeah.
Did their kicker get hurt? I don't even remember what happened. But the same thing happened in the Cowboys game with the Lions. I think it was right before halftime. The Lions went for it on 4th down when they could have taken points.
Yes.
And I went in on Campbell then. And I was like, it's his inability to adapt and adjust his mentality to the game situations that is going to cost the Lions games. And not everybody liked that take. And I don't even 100% like that take, but because their aggressiveness, that attitude that comes with that is why they were in the position that they were in this season. And it's you can put some of it on Campbell, but Dan Campbell trusts his guys to go out and make plays. And ultimately, the Lions had opportunities outside of those missed 2 4th downs to win this game, and they didn't. They didn't execute there. And maybe if they have a guy like, you know, Butker or Justin Tucker, and they trust their kickers in those situations, it's a little bit different. But I'm blaming this more so on the Lions players. Good Morning Football just showed the replay of Reynolds dropping that pass on 3rd and 8. Not even the 4th down one. The 3rd and 8 one, that's what killed them. So you just got to make plays. Same thing with the Ravens. We're not talking about the Ravens coach, right? We're not talking about Harbaugh because
Play
Zay
calling was
Flowers,
horrible.
Zay Flowers fumbled on the goal line. It was a mistake by the players. But if you like, we've criticized Todd Monken,
Mhm.
but what about John Harbaugh? Like, you're the head coach, and you see your offense doing something they haven't done all season and not run the ball. Like, as a head coach, to me, that's your job to go to your coordinator, be like, what the fuck's going on? Like, why are we not playing our brand of football? And there's probably somebody out there will tell me exactly why the Ravens didn't run the ball more and why you can back it up. But, like, I don't know why Harbaugh gets a pass and we're criticizing Campbell for 2 plays, the Lions didn't make.
It's a good call. I mean, I think the play calling has been pretty scrutinized about the Ravens and just the lack.
Yeah,
of
but
them,
it's not
like,
Harbaugh. We're talking about Monken, right?
Yeah,
Monken.
no, I understand.
Monken. Fuck, why can't I remember his name right now?
I think
God.
I think when it comes to the Lions, it was, and the comment before, yeah, like I saw that. Like, you talk about momentum in a game, and I think momentum is both understated and overstated all the time. But dude, like, when you had the 49ers score, this was right before the Gibbs fumble, I literally was saying on the stream, like, the Lions need to score right now. And even if it's a field goal, they need to score, because if they don't, this is going to be a big part, because they took the fan base out of the game. You heard Jared Goff chants being chanted, right? Like, oh man, they have all the momentum, and then Gibbs fumbles, and I'm just like, nope. Like, I've seen this. I've seen it too many times. You see it played out, and the 49ers, and kudos to them, are a good enough team that if you make mistakes like drop passes, like not settling for field goals, like fumbles, they will take advantage of that. Or even if it is not intercepting Brock Purdy, right? Because that was the Packers' problem. They couldn't pick him off. So, I mean, it's just, this is the playoffs. And when you go against a 1 seed or you go against really good teams in the playoffs, you can't make those kinds of mistakes. You look at the Ravens, and the Ravens defense, they did a pretty good job, right? Held the Holmes like 17 points. That's pretty good. And it was the offense and just the penalties that kept moving them back. It was the turnovers that kept on changing the momentum of the game. That's what's going to lose you the game, when it's those like self-inflicted, wounds, penalties that the other team doesn't make. I mean, look at Bill Belichick and the Patriots. They came out on record so many times and just saying this, that they just waited for their opponent to make a mistake, because they just played their same brand of football. And that's why they were so damn boring, right? If you weren't a Patriots fan, because you're just like, it's the same thing like all the time. But it was smart as hell, and I can't knock them for it, because at the end of the day, they were like, we're just going to be consistent, because that's the best thing that you could do in the postseason.
Yeah.
And for the Lions, I feel for them. It's a heartbreaking way to lose. At the same time, you're talking about Dan Campbell. He said this in his post-game presser and said, there's some guys who are never going to make it back to this point, because it is going to be more difficult for the Lions. It is gonna, if Kirk Cousins winds up coming back for the Vikings, they're going to be more competitive. Jordan Love and the Packers, they're going to be competitive. It's going to be more difficult for them. They're not under the radar. The Lions aren't going to be under the radar either. And I think, take this from a fan who is very fortunate that the Packers won a Super Bowl when they did, with a young squad, and it was a young Aaron Rodgers, and it was like, oh my God, we are going to have a dynasty. And they never even made it back.
Yeah.
So, like, it's difficult. And so I can feel for him, because it is really difficult to make it back to the Super Bowl. And I think a lot of teams know that. And I think that also fuels the hatred for the Chiefs, because when they make it back to the AFC Championship game or the Super Bowl so frequently, like the Patriots did, then it's like, good God, man, like, this is ridiculous. Because teams know how difficult it is. And this is coming from a fan of a team that has had sustained success for 30 years. And they've been to 3 Super Bowls, they won 2. And Rodgers only saw 1. And like, that's how difficult it is, because you could just, if the seeding doesn't work out, you mess up one game and it's over. And then you got to start all over again. You could get the 1 seed back-to-back years and it still doesn't work out. So like that's what I'm saying. You're not releasing that video. It makes sense, and it's exciting to think about the future of the Lions because I think they're going to be in good hands because they have a good squad.
Yeah.
But it's difficult. It is freaking difficult just to get there.
No, it is. It's like there's always one team that's an outlier, I feel like, right? And right now the Chiefs are the outlier. They're going to be able to nobody thinks that they won't be able to get back to the Super Bowl next year.
So,
like even if they win or lose, their chances of getting back great. Before them is the Patriots. Everyone believed they could get back to the Super Bowl, right? You had the Cowboys in the 90s. You had like the Steelers in the 70s.
Steelers for that, yep.
Like there's always everybody wants to crown them as the dynasty, and all that means really, to your point, is they're the team that you believe can get back to the Super Bowl every year.
Yeah.
Because it is incredibly difficult for so many reasons now with free agency, with turnover, with how we see like the coaches get poached and moved around, like because every team is firing coaches every year. That's what's going to be tough. But like with Dan Campbell, with that mentality, I think that's why you can still believe that the Lions can do it, can get back, and they can get back to the playoffs. And once you get to the playoffs, you have a chance. What happens in the playoffs, who knows? But he's like a realist. Like he's not somebody who's like blowing smoke up his team's ass. He's telling them this is really hard. This is really hard to do. And I think you can approach it like Bill Belichick and the Patriots and probably the way the Chiefs are, where we believe we can get there. We have the formula to get there. Or you can be like, it's an insane mountain to climb every year. I'm going to lead you to do that climb, but maybe we got as high as we can get. Maybe not. We're going to do the same shit next year. We're going to go for it on fourth down. That's our identity, and we'll see what happens.
Well, you look at some teams. So Peyton won, though. Like, so I understand that last Super Bowl kind of got dragged there. But I think when it comes to like certain teams, right? Like, look at the Bills, dude. The Bills got super close, and they go, okay, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to bring in a Von Miller, and we're going to give him an insane contract because that's going to put us over the top. And it hasn't worked out.
Yep.
It just hasn't. So I don't think Peyton Lamar, I don't think that's necessarily like a great, because again, he won. Lamar Jackson, I mean, if you want to compare to anybody, and again, I know he won too, it's more similar to Aaron Rodgers. Because besides that first year, like there were times where Aaron Rodgers disappeared in the playoffs in like the biggest games.
Yeah.
Like his NFC title, like, you know, NFC championship games, he was not that great.
Yeah.
You know, he was great sometimes in the divisional round or wild card. But I mean, God, you talk about that Falcons game. He's definitely had games where he like tore it up. But like when we got to the NFC championship game, even against the Bears, like wasn't the best. I know he's against good defense and it was outdoors and stuff, but
yeah, I think like if you're talking about this season for Lamar Jackson and Peyton, like the difference is the Ravens defense was the number one defense in the NFL.
They were
like,
so good, yeah.
Peyton Manning and the Broncos won a Super Bowl in 2015 when Peyton could barely play because of that defense.
Drafting will be good.
But like a lot of those other times where Peyton and the Colts get into the postseason, their defense, not great. Go look through some Barry McCockner tweets talking about defenses. Yeah. Like look for his anti-Tom Brady tweets.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's going to be, if you're talking about narratives, that's what's going to be tough for Lamar and the Ravens and their offense. They had the defense to get them to the Super Bowl. They didn't execute. And the Ravens defense, how many points did the Chiefs score in the second half of that game? Zero.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Zero. They did their part in the second half. Like
they did their job. And the offense had every opportunity. And the Chiefs, as good as they played defense too, because I also want to be very clear, like, I'm not trying to crap on the Chiefs too. And in terms of like, the Ravens were the ones who lost that game. Because the Chiefs just played consistent football, but the Chiefs also gave up opportunities for the Ravens to go and score. Yeah. And it just did not happen. And this
Chiefs defense is good. It's been good like all year.
It's the best one that Mahomes has had, right? Like that's the narrative that's going on. This, though, that's a great point, and it's two comments. Brian and Kookaburra making that comment about they have drafted very, very well. I mean, look at this past draft, dude, and people crapping all over, including myself. I was like, I don't know why they're doing this. and they freaking crushed it. So that I agree with, right?
Yeah.
Bench! Boop, boop. With a hundo. Yes, it is the flirting versus harassment meme of the NFL. That is 100. That's what I think about every single time. So this, I mean, the thing is though, and I gotta give kudos to the Chiefs for this. They did it the hard way. I mean, they weren't gifted a bye. They played every single round. They played in the cold. I know that didn't help Miami in any way, shape, or form. Miami had like a gajillion starters out. But then they went into Buffalo. They did win. And then they went into Baltimore, which was supposed to be like there was nobody saying, oh man, like it's going to be a walk in the park. Like they're going to be able to go in and just like defeat the Ravens. Like this was going to be a tough game. A lot of people, including myself, picked the Ravens to win. And they went in and they took care of business. And it wasn't pretty. Like you said, 0 points in the second half. But they beat, at the time, the best team in football to get back to the Super Bowl. So I gotta give them some props for that because like it wasn't one of those things like, oh, okay, they're the first seed, you know, they're gonna get the weakest seed left, and then they get a home game again for the AFC Championship game.
The Dolphins game was like a bye for them. They kind of did get a bye.
That's what I say. It was like not the best for the Dolphins because they had a million starters out and it was super cold.
That was a
but
bye.
Like those two games, like they're going up against the 2 seed and the 1 seed, and they beat them both.
The real tragedy is that if the Bills beat the Chiefs, the Bills are probably going to the Super Bowl right now.
I don't know about that.
I do. 100% guarantee Bills would have been going to the Super Bowl.
Johnny John John!
Appreciate you, Bench.
Bills would have scored more points. They would have scored more points, and they would have won that game.
I don't know.
I hope so. I hope he retires. Hope Andy Reid retires.
Patrick Mahomes retires.
I hope the Chiefs are just like, as an organization, like, you know what? We're done. We're selling off.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to take our billions and just, you'll never see us again.
Yeah. I mean, no, and that's rough too. I mean, because, dude, Lions fans, they traveled so freaking well to Santa Clara. It was crazy. And it's just, like, this is... Lions fans, I'll tell you this much. Unless you win a Super Bowl, even when you do, you never get over it. You don't. Like, it's... I've seen it too many times. And then now the 49ers just like my arch rival forever in the playoffs. But it's always going to be like, damn. Like, what if? Like, dude, I'm still thinking about what if we still got a Packers-Lions NFC Championship game. I'm just starting to get out of that mentality over a week later. So, like, damn, that would have been a lot of fun. And it was funny because they're like, wow, if the Packers were there in the beginning of that game, they're like, they would have gotten their ass kicked because the Lions looked so good. And then it all fell apart. So, you know what? There you go, Lions fans. That's what you can take solace in. If you played the exact same game, but it was against the Packers, and you lost that way against the Packers at home, that would have been devastating. So it could always be worse.
Good.
That's what I got. So, Perna, don't you have to do a read?
Don't you have to do one?
I can give you a sexy disclaimer.
Let's see
here. Disclaimed. Sexy disclaimer. I think the Super Bowl stuff is already up too.
Yeah, so
Oh yeah, did you win yet?
Nope.
Perna?
Nope.
I don't think I did either, so that's all right.
Didn't get close. Look at that. Pacheco, wrong. Andrews, wrong. Kelsey, correct. Rice, wrong. Lamar, wrong. Anyway.
Hey, you won one though, Perna.
I've won one this season.
You won one. All right.
I should have the first overall draft pick. Really.
You should.
One in
You traded it to the Bears
60 or whatever. One in 70 now.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I traded it to the Panthers. Mm-hmm. No, I'm the Panthers.
Traded it to the Bears. Yeah. So.
I had the yeah. DJ Moore, take him. Take him. Anyway, I have had a lot of fun through the season with Underdog Fantasy
like
Talk,
Christmas
playing
lights.
pick'ems, doing fantasy drafts. Sure, there's only one more NFL game. We know that. But we got NBA games. You got NHL games. You got PGA. Whatever tickles your fancy. You can play on Underdog, little Monday night hoops, full court press. You can do your drafts. They got pick'ems for all of those as well. What do we got right now? What is this? Oh, we got college ball. There's going to be March Madness coming up. So if you want to do any of those activities, our friends over here at Underdog Fantasy, you just got to use our code GPS. Enter it when you sign up. They'll match your first deposit up to $100. We got links in the description to help you sign up. Underdog been rocking with us all year long. Got a neon sign.
It's true, Leandre. Sure.
Use our code or they'll take away my neon sign. That's what I'm saying.
If you were going to WrestleMania, you could have pointed at it. And fireworks would have gone off and everything.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. All right. So to begin to wind down here, you got the Super Bowl. It's the Chiefs and 49ers. We'll talk about this game to death in like the coming weeks. But like right this second, legitimately, not cursing Perna, not trying to jinx him. Who do you think wins this game?
Who do I think wins the Super Bowl?
Yeah. Like no jinxing. Like
the Chiefs.
You think so?
Yeah. Like their defense is better than the 49ers defense. They have Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelce is playing very well. 11 receptions. Sam Laporta was dicing up the 49ers. They didn't have an answer for Laporta.
Pacheco. So,
yeah, I think the Chiefs are going to win this game. Back-to-back Super Bowls, my personal hell, my nightmare comes true. Simple.
Well, again, MVP is decided before the playoffs, so that's not going to matter. But I've been saying CMC. I've been seeing CMC for a bit. Yeah, I think it's the Chiefs too. I just, at this point, like, you won, Chiefs fans. I tried to ignore it. I went against my gut both times, and Perna was like, "Oh, that's a nice cop out." True, and I should have just went with it because now the Chiefs have beaten me into submission, and I'm just like, "Yep, I am fully prepping to see Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes win another Super Bowl." I'm like, "Yep, I've already accepted it in my heart." I'm like, that's what's going to happen. Now, there's definitely the 49ers are a good football team. I just think the amount of mistakes, and this was said in the comments too, the amount of mistakes that the 49ers have made, they can't make those mistakes against the Chiefs.
No.
Because the Chiefs are the team that are like, oh no, like we're not going to do that. Because again, the Lions, they made mistakes and the 49ers capitalized off of them.
Yeah.
But the 49ers also at times got insanely. Now, of course, there was a flag on that play too with the Aiyuk catch, but yeah. I think they're going to play mistake-free football.
Think about this, Tom. Think about how crazy this is what I believe, okay? The Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs, who we have criticized all year for dropping passes, letting games slip away from them. I foresee no scenario where the Chiefs receivers and playmakers are dropping passes and fumbling footballs the way the Lions did to lose to the 49ers.
Yep.
So if the 49ers are in a position where they need the Chiefs offense to make mistakes, it's not going to happen. Now, can you slow down Kansas City? Sure. Baltimore did it for the second half. 3 and outs, stopped them, all of that. And the 49ers are a good football team. Like, when they lost to the Ravens, we just wrote off the 49ers. They're just like, they're dead.
Yes.
They suck now. Because their butts were handed to them.
They were still the best team in the NFC. Like, that's what I was like, yeah, they lost, but like they're the best team in the NFC. Like, they should be fine. They'll still gonna be Super Bowl favorites. But then the Packers game, you're like, oh. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. So they need to play a full game. And they haven't done it 2 weeks in a row in the playoffs, and that's a little concerning. But I mean, like, they have all the weapons too. They got Debo, they got McCaffrey, they got 2 weeks rest, they got Kittle. They can hang with them. They can win that game. I hope they win that game.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Purdy's got ice in his veins too. So, and it's indoors, no rain. Ball ain't gonna be slipping out of his hands.
True.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Like, it might be a great game. It might be.
I mean,
Based on all the other results, I doubt it.
the game that
But
they
it could be
played
good.
wasn't like the other Super Bowl. Like, I know there's not a lot of people that are super excited about it. It wasn't a bad game because that was when they were up to the 49ers were up 10 and then Mahomes came back. It wasn't bad. Like, it was pretty solid. And I think it's two good teams that you're going to be facing off. I think it's just, if it was the Ravens, the conspiracy logo would be crazy. But if it was the Ravens, I think the consensus would be the Ravens are going to stomp them because we're expecting to see what we're going to see, what we saw on Christmas. But this game, we're like, I don't know if it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be a stomping, but the Chiefs, I think, have proven like, yeah, like at this point, you just can't pick against them. It's just, they've proven that.
Yeah.
You can't.
So I won't do it.
That's it. That's it. Oh, God. But yeah, the Super Bowl's set. And let's see how this freaking thing ends. Berna, what do you got coming out today? Winners and losers?
Yeah, winners and losers should be up today.
Nice. Nicely done. I didn't get a chance to record it right before GPS because I slept for a little bit. So give me about an hour or so. I'll put out every NFL fan's reaction to Championship Sunday. And then if the NFL was scripted, that's that was gonna cook. That one's gonna cook.
It gonna cook.
Let's go.
Like it's at Benihana, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty nuts. That's pretty nuts. It's just they're consistently damn good. They're consistently damn good. And that's what's infuriating. You got to respect a little bit of it. But
yeah,
if you're Brandon Perna and, any division rival or if you're another AFC team looking at that, you're like, cool.
Yeah.
Cool,
the Chiefs hiring Andy Reid and then Spags hiring Spags, like those decisions haunt me, Like Spags ain't going anywhere. Their defense is insane. He was leading the Giants when they stopped the Patriots. Like, I hope Chris Jones leaves. I hope players go other places to make money.
But it doesn't matter, Brandon. They lost Tyreek Hill and won a Super Bowl. They have been crapped on for their receivers all year. And guess what? Nobody's dropping any passes now. And they're still going back to the Super Bowl.
Kelsey retires. Chris Jones leaves. Somebody else got to go.
That's what good teams do. They have the coach. They have the QB. They have arguably the greatest tight end.
I need to think that they might be a little bit worse.
This was that you said this yesterday. If there was a year that you could take advantage of like someone in the AFC West not completely crapping the bed and actually being competition for the Chiefs, this was the year. Now, I don't know if it would have mattered because ultimately they still made the playoffs as a wild card team and they went through the gauntlet and won. But
well, and that's like, that might have been the thing too, where division rivals are tough, and division rivals in the postseason, you just you don't know. And if the Chargers or Raiders or Broncos could have been good this year, and the Broncos beat the Chiefs this season, and they could have played the Chiefs in the playoffs, like maybe that would be like an equalizer there because those teams know each other. Team like the Ravens, they don't get to play the Chiefs enough, and they got slapped.
I think this just proves that this is why we need the Cincinnati Bengals in the playoffs.
Yeah, they're the only ones. They're the only ones.
The kitty needs to be there. That's it.
Joe Burrow's injury.
Go meow.
That's what really killed us all.
It did.
And who did that? What game was that? Was that the Ravens? Was that the Ravens?
Oh, God.
The Ravens took out all the people who could have stopped the Chiefs. Ravens, you did it to yourself.
Ravens have nobody to blame for themselves.
Yeah. If they don't have Joe Burrow fall on his hand or however it happened again, the Bengals would have played the Chiefs before the Chiefs got to the Ravens and beat them. And then the Ravens would have got the Bills, or they would have got the Bengals, and they'd be going to the Super Bowl.
That's it.
Oh boy.
Well, folks, we appreciate the comes full circle, Brandon. Comes full circle. That's it.
I will accept blame.
You need to just burn.
I'll
the
be your
curse wheel.
punching bag. Everybody who wants to claim the victory, punch me. Everybody who wants to blame the loss on me, punch me as well. I am here to be your punching bag.
God, I don't know about that. I mean, again, they're at a disadvantage because they're playing the Kansas City Chiefs, the team that keeps on going to the Super Bowl. That's their disadvantage.
Yeah.
But, folks, we appreciate the heck out of you watching. We'll be back on Wednesday. We're just going to cry together. It's fine. But thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS. And you have been navigated. Where, Brandon?
To hell.
There. Yep, there you go. That's where.
We're in it.
That's it.
It's warm.
That's it. Hey, warm is good.
Warm is good.
Warm is nice. Take warm.
Pop up that last super chat.
Oh, that was my guy. Bam.
There it is.
All right.
Bye.
We all blame urinating tree now. That's it.
Yeah, it's trees'
It's
fault.
not Brandon.